marriage, Ram and his brothers return to Ayodhya with their wives. Bharat and Shatrughan go to Kekaya to visit the maternal uncles of Bharat. King Dashrath was getting old and Ram was becoming very popular among the subjects. So the king declares Ram as his heir and announces his coronation. This was a welcome news to everyone, but Manthara was angry and jealous that Bharat was not being crowned instead. Manthara, who was Kaikeyi's servant from childhood, begins to manipulate Kaikeyi and poison her mind with this thought. So, on the ill advice of Manthara, Kaikeyi creates the drama of Kop Bhavan. She throws herself crying on the floor, takes off all her ornaments and refuses to eat. Long ago, Kaikeyi had twice saved Dashrath's life through her nursing and devotion, and the king had wanted to reward her. But Kaikeyi refused, saying that she will ask for the reward later when she needed it. Reminding Dashrath of this, she makes him promise that he will grant her whatever boon she seeks. King loved Kaikeyi the most among his queens, so he readily agrees. Kaikeyi asks for Bharat to be crowned king instead of Ram, and Ram to be banished to Dandakaranya, the southern jungles, for 14 years. Deeply hurt and distraught, Dashrath begs Kaikeyi to take back her demands. He even pleads with her that if Ram leaves for jungle, Dashrath would surely die. But Kaikeyi doesn't budge. Finally, when she puts her demands to Ram himself, he happily agrees to live by his father's promise. Sita and Lakshman, unable to bear separation from Ram, decide to accompany him. Urmila pleads with her husband Lakshman to let her join them too, but Lakshman persuades her to stay, as the jungle is full of terrors and rakshasas. Taking leave from father and mothers, Ram, Lakshman and Sita start their journey towards the jungle. On Dashrath's request, charioteer Sumantra rides them away. Shocked and sad, all the subjects of Ayodhya follow the chariot as far as they could. Ram, Sita and Lakshman travel with Sumantra for 3 days and reach the shores of Ganga. There they start their exile of 14 years, dressed in saffron and devoid of any worldly pleasures. Ram, Lakshman and Sita needed to cross Ganga to travel south. But the boatman Guhak Chandal refuses to let Ram into his boat. Guhak argues that by doing so he might lose his only source of livelihood, that is his boat. He fears that if Ram steps into his boat, it might turn into a living thing, just like Ahalya. Finally, Guhak agrees to wash Ram's feet with his own hands first, and then let him into his boat. Thus, Guhak Chandal takes Ram, Lakshman and Sita across Ganga in his boat, and in doing so, crosses the cosmic river of life himself to attain Nirvana. From there, Ram, Sita and Lakshman reach the hermitage of Maharshi Bharadwaj. He advises them to cross Yamuna and go to Chitrakoot. He describes Chitrakoot to be a beautiful place, full of fruit trees and many animals. Many other sages also live there. So Ram, Sita and Lakshman also reach Chitrakoot and stay there for some time. After accompanying Ram, Sita and Lakshman to the shores of Ganga, Sumantra Sarthi returns to Ayodhya and gives this news. An old, sick and heartbroken King Dashrath finally loses all hope of seeing his son Ram again soon and dies. Bharat and Shatrughan are called back from their maternal home. After hearing all that has happened, an enraged Bharat admonishes Kaikeyi for her misjudgment and foolishness. Bharat and Shatrughan punish Manthara for poisoning Kaikeyi's mind and put her in the dungeons. Bharat resolves to undo the wrong done. He sets out to seek Ram with all his chariots, army, elephants, horses, servants, and all sorts of royal pomp and show. Many people from Ayodhya also join him. Asking around and following Ram's trail, Bharat finally reaches Chitrakoot. He asks for Ram's forgiveness and begs him to return to Ayodhya and be the king. But Ram refuses and upholds his resolve to carry out his father's promise to Kaikeyi. Since Bharat also vows not to be the king in his brother's place, he asks for Ram's Paduka, the wooden slipper, instead. Saddened, Bharat and Shatrughan return to Ayodhya. Bharat instills Ram's Paduka on the throne as a substitute, and he himself sits on the floor to carry out the day-to-day duties of the court. This video is inspired and adapted from Ramayana in pictures, authored and illustrated by Champak Bhattacharya.